Welcome to the AFC West Roundtable, a weekly live show featuring top-tier insight and analysis on all things AFC West. From the best creators in the division, including Denver Broncos creator Ryan, Kansas City Chiefs creator Marcus, Las Vegas Raiders creator Samoan, and Los Angeles Chargers creators Bolt Bros. Catch the AFC West Roundtable every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on the AFC West Roundtable YouTube channel. AFC West Roundtable, welcome back into another episode here on the AFC West Roundtable, a show brought to you by Roundtable Sports. As always, my name is Colby Cochran, host here of the AFC West Roundtable. Boy, oh boy, another great one here for you guys as we inch closer and closer and closer to the 2025 NFL season. Here to recap everything that happened in Week 5, and then at the end, of course, as always, previewing Week 6. And you guys see the title. What a week here for the division. I mean, the Broncos dominate. They were one of two teams in the NFL for Week 5 that got rid of the only two undefeated teams left in the league. Broncos taking care of the Eagles, but the rest of the division falling flat here. Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, all collapsing. There's a lot to get into, man. A lot of these guys' emotions are running high already. Marcus, we see you bumped down there to 3 already, man. There's a lot to talk about with those Kansas City Chiefs after Monday Night Football. Maybe it didn't go the way that you guys were projecting it would. But let's go around the table. Let's see how everybody's doing before we get on into these games. James, despite maybe a rough outing over the last few weeks, you're still number 1. So you got to feel at least decent.
Yeah, and we're 3-0 versus the division, so that's going to stay in history. So that's done, and that's good. But we cannot seem to beat the NFC East for some weird reason. I don't know what it is with them, but we are losing games against them, and that's really unfortunate. And we're losing ugly to those teams. We're making a whole heck of a lot of mistakes. It's not fun to see, but yeah, that last game against the Commanders, I was pretty heated about that one, man. It did not sit well with me at all. So hope for better next week.
Yeah, certainly going to need better next week. I mean, given who the opponent is, if you lose that game, we're going to have some serious conversations coming back here about the Chargers. But, of course, we'll talk about that game a little later on. Ryan, the man of the hour, taking down the defending Super Bowl champions. Marcus, look, at the end of the day, I know you lost, and I know it's an in-division opponent. But, I mean, you got to feel pretty good for your boy Ryan here taking down them Philadelphia Eagles. So, I mean, Ryan, just how are you feeling right now?
Dude, it's words can't explain it. Like, everybody just loves what's going on right now. You know, they beat the Bengals, and we're just like, all right, whatever. Who gives a shit? You did what you're supposed to do. Finally, they beat a worthy opponent. As of right now, they're a worthy opponent. The Eagles. I mean, they were undefeated for how many games was it? It was like they haven't lost in over a year. So, it was a little bit ugly. We are down by quite a bit, 2 touchdowns, but ultimately the boys rallied and they overcame it and took another step in the right direction of being a competitive team in the AFC.
Hey, man, and at the end of the day, that's all you want. Getting a momentum win like this after maybe a last rough couple of weeks, things that maybe not going the way that the Denver Broncos wanted, getting a win like this to establish momentum is absolutely pivotal. But Marcus, let's go down to you, man. We've had this conversation a couple of times already this season, and I know before you said, you're not worried. It's the beginning of the season. You guys are still looking to get healthy and bring some players back. You guys are certainly starting to get healthier now, but you end up falling to the Jags in a game that it felt like you guys should have ultimately ended up winning. The ending to that game, absolutely insane. You think you get Trevor Lawrence down, but he gets out of it, dives into the end zone, touchdown, and it felt like when you had the opportunity to go down the field, tie the game, send it into overtime, the offense just absolutely collapsed on itself. So just what's the mindset among Chiefs fans right now? And is this not the same Chiefs team that we've seen in recent years?
Call me Mr. Optimist. I'm not going to sit here and, there's a lot of Chiefs fans who are throwing the white towel, waving the flag. But we were up 14-0 in that game. I know going into the season, everyone was questioning how our offensive line would look. Our offensive line has looked fantastic, specifically the last 2 weeks. Jaguars had a good defense, and our offense looked amazing last night. Yeah, Mahomes threw a pick 6 in the goal line. He's only thrown 2 interceptions this year, both in the goal line. And that happens. But we had a chance to win that game. We went down the field. Mahomes scored, and company scored a touchdown with less than 2 minutes left and up 4. Jags had to score a touchdown. And Butker, I think he needs to focus on football and stay out of politics and just focus on football. That's what I think he needs to do because he's been awful this year. And that kickoff out of bounds, that's what you see bad teams do. We saw that the Cardinals on Thursday night a couple weeks ago, where Ryland kicked the ball before the 20-yard line and the Seahawks kicked the ball at the 40-yard line. But, bad teams do that. Good teams don't do that. So Butker really needs to get his act together. But I love what I saw from the offense yesterday, besides the pick, which shit happens. But, hey, there are a lot of good things to pull from this game. But, yeah, I did not like what I saw from special teams yesterday. And I'll get into all that when we talk about the game. But, yeah, lots to hate, but I did love what I saw from the offense yesterday. And that's before we get Rashid Rice back. So I'm not all doom and gloom right now.
You know what, Marcus? You still got Tyquan Thornton, man. At the end of the day, you still got someone. You still got someone. Marcus, my other thing, too, is that I wanted to ask you because I'm seeing kind of this reemergence of Kansas City dancing TikTok all over the platform. And I'm like looking at your wide receiver core injured, but they're in the locker room dancing and getting lit together. And I just look at the comment section. It's like, why are you guys too busy dancing and not performing out there on the field? So just in your own opinion, or from what you're seeing from Kansas City Chiefs fans, are you guys annoyed that you're seeing kind of Kansas City TikTok dances back while you guys are kind of in this slump?
No, I don't think so. Honestly, I think people are more mad. No one's even talking about the juju dances or any of that stuff. No one's talking about that at all. The only thing people are talking about is Chris Jones giving up in that last play at the end of the game. That's the big thing on the menu for everybody in Chiefs Kingdom right now. Chris Jones giving up on that last play when instead when Trevor Lawrence doesn't fall once, he falls twice and gets up and runs for a touchdown. And you see number 95, Mr. $100 million man, just standing there watching the whole thing happen. And he deactivated his Instagram and Twitter today. So wow, that's what people are talking about right now. No one's talking about dances. Yeah.
Wow, some rough situation nonetheless going down there in Kansas City. We'll certainly talk about that when we do talk about that Chiefs game. Samoan, man, I feel like there's a lot to unpack here, but how you doing?
Oh man, I feel like it's the same thing every week, man. It's been like that for the past 4 weeks. And when Marcus was saying, bad teams do that on special teams. Well, we've been doing it for all season long. I expected us to lose too because I don't have no hope in this team right now. But I didn't expect it to be that bad. We got belt to ass this past weekend. And I think my optimism definitely dropped even more. I was like pissed off and couldn't really think straight about everything. But man, it's crazy to think that we finally got a better coach, I guess, on paper with more experience. We got a quarterback that I think on paper is better than what we've had. And we look way worse than we did last year. And going to Indianapolis, I know is going to be a tough matchup, but damn, man. And then we keep beating ourselves down too with the turnovers. The same thing, same story, just a different week. Geno Smith, it kind of sucks because that first interception that he did have, kind of killed the momentum, and then it started going downhill from there. But it's kind of hard to be an optimistic fan when we continue to lose like we did. And 40-6, and it's crazy because we got the Titans coming in this weekend. I'm not even optimistic about that game. So it's tough to be a Raider fan right now. Like I said last week, I think we're continuing to prove everybody right. That we're the team they all expected us to be in. And I look at these roundtables as therapy sessions now. So I'm just here for the ride.
We got you, Samoan.
Until something changes, anything can happen. But right now it's just I'm just chilling and relaxing while I hear everybody talk about complaining about small things while we have bigger problems over here in Vegas. But it's tough.
Samoan, look at it glass half full. As your free therapist, this is what we are here to tell you. So look at life glass half full.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time. That's
what can you do on this panel that nobody else can? You can start a mock draft already. So there you go, Samoan, baby. Glass half full. That's what we're looking for, man.
What's crazy about that too, man? I even said that shit, but I still feel like the Raiders will fuck that up too. Last year, I was like, okay, we're gonna get a top 5 pick. We'll get a top 3 pick. Maybe we get a quarterback. And now they want to win some meaningless games, and we end up at number 6. Granted, we did get a running back, but a great running back right now doesn't really amount to wins. But at least we'll see if we'll be. We'll see where we're at. But I'm definitely looking at some quarterbacks right now.
Absolutely.
Somewhere, anywhere.
Anywhere. Just get
Anywhere.
one. Just get a guy who doesn't turn the ball over. I get it. That's the most important job of a quarterback. But
That's all we ask for, man.
guys, let's go ahead and let's get into these games. But before we do that, real quick, want to give a massive shout out to the sponsor of this video over at Sleeper. Use promo code you see on the screen, RTS, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Link in the description box below. And look, James, we still have you at the top of the division, so I feel like it's only fair that we build a quick parlay based off the Chargers' upcoming game against the Miami Dolphins, a game where, look, you guys can't win this one, get some offensive production. We're going to have some bigger questions on our hand on next Tuesday's episode, but what do you think about this? A guy that's been going off for the Chargers and Quentin Johnston, do you like anytime touchdown?
Yeah, I mean, he's been pretty solid outside of the fumble that he had in the last game, but yeah, he's been a big target. He's basically been wide receiver one. So I would say he would be a good chance right now, especially with Amarian Hampton not being on this team too. No IR. He's on the IR for 4 weeks. So yeah, I would say that would be a good choice with Quentin Johnston.
I like that. Anytime touchdown there for Quentin Johnston. Now, let's look at the defensive side of the football here for the Chargers real quick. Darren Waller went off last week. Do you believe that he will have a touchdown at some point in this game, or do you trust the Chargers defense and your safeties to be able to go up against him?
Darren Waller's been on fire the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I think he's going to get a touchdown too, for sure. I think he's a bigger part of this since Tyreek Hill is gone. Darren Waller, I think, has really kind of stepped into that kind of, if you want to say, wide receiver 2 position, and he's been lighting it up. So yeah, I'd say he'll get a touchdown too.
Love it, guys. Well, that is going to be our parlay for week 6. Make sure you guys follow us over on the Sleeper app. Again, linked in the description box below. But fellas, let's go ahead and let's get into these games. And of course, do want to start off here with the Chargers game, because they do get Jaden Daniels back. They finally get a little bit more healthy. We start to see the Commanders of old show up in this game. Fortunately, don't really see the Chargers offense that we've expected or really been acclimated seeing so far this season. You guys end up losing 27-10. James, what went wrong here?
You know, when I watch games, I tend to watch the plays that shifted the game. And it's all started downhill from that Quentin Johnston fumble, pretty much. From that point on, the Chargers didn't score for the rest of the game. Commander scored a TD off of that turnover. 3 and out, just going through a lot of different plays throughout this whole game. There was a 3 and out where the Chargers basically roughed the kicker when the Commanders kicked the ball off. Marlowe whacks right into the leg. Shooting yourself in the foot. Ladd McConkey has one of the best punt returns for a touchdown I've ever seen, hopping over the punter to get into the end zone. It was a thing of beauty, but you got the roughing the kicker call. What do they do? What do the Commanders do? Well, they took advantage of that. They just basically bombed the ball out to Luke McCaffrey for 50 and then ended up getting a field goal. 10 points on mistakes, 1 fumble, 1 penalty for the Commanders at that point too. Basically a difference of a game that could have been 17-7. It was 10-10 at half. And then the other side of it too, once they got up to a point where the Commanders were up 17-10, I literally talked with my brothers right then and there. I said, they're going to pin back their ears and they're just going to go after us. I mean, our O-line is an absolute mess right now. Basically, next big play, they basically got a sack on us. Next play after that, Quentin Johnston catches the ball for a first down and then a holding call on Trey Pipkins. Next play, I think it was like 2nd and 18 or something like that. Basically, next play, get another first down to Keenan Allen. Penalty on Trey Pipkins. Basically, now the ball's on the Chargers 5, ends in a punt. Basically, shooting yourself in the foot all game long. Holding back drives, making mistakes. Just absolute mess throughout. 10 penalties in this game, 85 yards total. 24 penalties in the last 2 games total. It is a tale of 2 teams at this point. Go back to the first 3 games. We're living the highlight, feeling like nothing could stop us. We're looking good. We're not creating crazy penalties, not doing dumb mistakes too. These last 2 games just looking like a completely different team. I don't know if it's because, and I think I might have said it on this podcast. I said something to the effect that maybe they're going to ride this 3-game win streak over the division, and then they're just going to kind of start tapering off because they did what they needed to do kind of thing. And then they just start to kind of like pull back a little bit. They don't feel under pressure or something. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening right now. They're just unfocused at this point. Big thing too, injuries are just piling up, making mistakes is just a bigger problem, in my opinion, at this point. But the O-line has given up a 40% pass block win rate in consecutive games, first team since 2025. Just to give you an idea what a 40% pass block win rate means, well, that is horrible to have, but a good team is in the 75 plus type area into that for that stat. We're horrible right now as an offensive line. And we're dealing with like third stringers and just guys we're pulling in from the streets here and everything too. It's bad. Now, I will still say that Justin Herbert actually still had an efficient game, even with a bad O-line. 22 of 29. I'll take that all day. Now, that game sucked, and everybody's like, go after and get an O-lineman. Go get an O-lineman. Well, Chargers ended up doing something opposite and went and got Odafe Owe from the Ravens, which is an outside linebacker from the Ravens. Basically, it adds a good edge piece to this team, and it's really, really needed since Khalil Mack has been out with his arm injury. So I'm thinking that whole Khalil Mack injury is going to be a little bit longer. I mean, that was a nasty-looking injury all around. But they're trying to add more pressure onto the edge position because we've been putting other guys in there like Cleveland Farrell. You know, we got him too. We brought Cleveland Farrell. We brought him in too. Played last week. Kind of didn't do bad. Didn't do great. Didn't do anything to really change the game. So bottom line, what I'm trying to say is we are a mess as a team right now. We need to find a way to basically get back to what we were doing well in weeks 1 through 3 and trust in Joe Ortiz. He's going to go out there and try to get some pieces for this team. And so hope for the best. We'll see. That was an ugly, ugly, ugly loss all around and very frustrating for the Chargers fans.
Damn StreamYard. All right, Marcus, you're hosting today. Get ready. They switch it all around this time. What the heck? All right. But no, like looking at the playoff picture right now, because PFF just today dropped the teams most likely to make the playoffs. And if the playoffs started today, who would be in the running? Chargers would still have the 4th seed in the AFC playoff picture. Right now, you guys have a 67% chance to make the postseason. Ryan, your Denver Broncos have a 64% chance. You currently would be the 6th seed. So at least you got 2 teams in the division currently looking to be repping. Unfortunately, Marcus, right now, you guys are not in the picture, but a lot of football to still be played. So don't lose that hope. And I certainly know that you won't. But Ryan, let's go on over to you. What were your thoughts when watching the Chargers fall to the Commanders?
I was wondering if they peaked. I mean, James made the point about like, you know, they started off hot, maybe they're going to taper off. I did not think that they would start tapering off this quickly. Obviously, injuries have something to do with that, but it was a great sight to see, to say the least. You know, seeing them, I was cheering for the Commanders, and then when they started putting belt to ass on them, I was like, "Oh, this just makes my Sunday even better." Especially after the Broncos winning early on Sunday, and then of course seeing the Chiefs lose, and then the Raiders not put up a fight at all, and just get bent over. But yes, I don't know where the Chargers are going to go from here because a lot of it has to do with injuries. I think that they'll continue to stay in the playoff race, but I'm not terrible. I think we have an opportunity right now for the Broncos to go and take their spot now. Like the seat for the AFC West is it's there. It's there for the taking right now. And yeah, we dropped that first one against the Chargers. And hopefully our guys stay healthy as well. But we're supposed to also have some guys coming back. Dre Greenlaw still hasn't even played for us yet. And so yeah, everything's looking up for the Broncos in terms of what the Chargers are doing.
What a difference just a few weeks can make, right?
It's crazy.
What a difference, because Ryan felt like he was down. The Chargers were at the top of the world. Marcus, it seems like over the last 2 weeks heading into this game that maybe you guys were coming back to. And then in 1 week, everything completely switches the narrative in the AFC West. Marcus, let's go down to you. What were your thoughts on this Chargers loss?
I mean, I feel bad for the Chargers. I mean, every year it's the same old, right? It's like right on cue, you know, and more injuries to the Chargers, you know, and it's. I mean, I hate to see injuries, but it feels like every year it's the same kind of story with the Chargers. I don't know if you need to get a new training staff. I don't know. It's unfortunate to see because you want to see all these teams at their best, but I mean, it's football, you know. Pipkins going down was huge, and then Hampton going down. Obviously, I don't know what you're going to do at running back. I mean, is Hassan Haskins going to carry the load? I mean, that's pretty rough, especially with a team that likes to run the ball. I don't know if that's going to be the dude for you. And then what's the other guy? Vidal is the other running back you guys have.
Yeah, Kamani Vidal.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know that you guys might be in the market to trade for a running back potentially if this Haskins doesn't do anything for you. I know in the fantasy community, a lot of people are saying that's pretty much a stay away for running back situation. But yeah, I watched the Commanders game. It's three straight weeks that your defense has allowed at least 79 yards rushing from the lead back of teams.
Crazy.
So Krosky Merritt, Bill looked fantastic in that game against you guys. Like you said, it was after that McCaffrey catch, that 50-yard bomb. That's when things kind of just went downhill for you guys. That was it. I don't think you guys they scored that field goal, and that was it. The Commanders kind of took over for the rest of the game. But it was obviously, I'm sure watching that, you're just seeing, the injuries mount up for you guys. And it's like, man, like this is another year. What are the football gods doing to the Chargers? It sucks to see as far as the injury wise for you guys. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens as things go forward for you. I thought the Oweh trade was interesting. I know he was pretty awesome at Penn State when he was coming out of school. So, going to be interesting to see what you guys do. I'm really curious about what your running back situation. We're really curious to see what happens with that.
I'm interested too. I'm not sure exactly where we're going to go with it, but that O-line doesn't really help anything too in the run game either too. It's kind of a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. Now, Simone, let's go on over to you. Wrap us up with this game. What were your thoughts on that Chargers loss?
Yeah, I thought it was crazy. And to his point, to James' point, it's crazy to see how strong they started off the season, and they did look unstoppable. I mean, they was whooping they whooped us, but and just to see them fall two straight games, of course, as a Raider fan, it's great to see. But they started off the game pretty strong, 10-0, and it was like, okay, they about to get another win, and then like turnovers, momentum shifted and stuff like that. It's good to see Jaden Daniels back. Had a solid day. Krosky Merritt also had a solid day. But yeah, I think these next couple of games is definitely going to determine whether or not they still have that momentum, because we've seen it before where the Chargers would start the season really hot, and then as the season goes on, it's not that same team. But we'll see. Shout out to Justin Herbert. At the end of the day, man, I think the biggest highlight was seeing him kiss Madison Beer before the game. So, at least he has that going for himself. And there's a new Taylor Swift
it's official.
In the AFC West,
Yeah.
I know that's what I was like, oh, damn, bro. But hey, that was a tough loss for you guys. And that's
it's
all
official for now. Jackson Dart might have something else to say about that. But,
that was something else.
Hey, at least he hit it once, though. That's all he goes.
Gotta watch out for the pretty boys, man. Gotta watch out for the pretty boys. But you guys let us know your thoughts about this game in the comment section below. But let's go ahead and let's get on to the game of the week here for the AFC West. The Denver Broncos' big win over the, former undefeated Philadelphia Eagles, coming off of their big Super Bowl, of course. Denver Broncos win 21-17. Ryan, go off. How were you guys able to pull this one out?
So first of all, I'm gonna give all the credit to the defense, because holy crap, they locked down when it, especially in the second half. First half, they let up some plays. One thing I will say, go fuck yourself, Riley Moss. I hate your guts. I'm so sick of this dude. I had my grief with Cortland Sutton, who dropped the ball first pass of the game. Oh my gosh, right there in his arms. Oh my gosh, I just wanted to screw out my eyeballs. My gosh. And then Riley Moss started getting absolutely cooked. One of my friends, he texted me. He's like, hey, should I put money on the Broncos? How are you feeling? I'm like, I was like, we're either going to win this very closely or we're going to get killed. And I was like, but I don't trust Riley Moss, and their wide receivers are frustrated right now, and one of them is going to pick on him. Well, Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts picked on Riley Moss, and Riley Moss got bailed out. He got bailed out. There were some plays where there was flags. I think there was one in the second half. Devontae Smith, big catch deep and over Riley Moss, and then Saquon Barkley got called for illegal shift and absolutely saved his ass. So he is a big liability. And now it looks good that we got Jide Barron so that Riley Moss can go to the bench, because I'm just sick of him. But anyways, that was my rant with him. Nick Bonito, holy crap, this dude, defensive player of the year front runner right now, in my opinion. Like maybe this is just biased, but even the stats are going to say that right now as well. I think he's leading all the pass rushers of the NFL. He has a 2-sack lead right now. I forgot what the specific number is. Pat Surtain had a solid day. I think he gave up like 40 yards to AJ Brown, so not the best day, but the defense did their job, but also the Eagles beat themselves. They had a lot of dumb penalties that they made, and they just, how do you not run the ball to Saquon? Like, you actually listened to all the fans and you threw the ball more. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, they don't make any sense. And then our offense was pretty solid in the beginning, moving the ball down the field. They just couldn't convert to any points. And then they kind of just, got a little bit stagnant. They weren't necessarily on the same page, Bo and the receivers. And then the run game really locked in, and J.K. Dobbins went to work. And then Bo, when it mattered in the fourth quarter, was just absolutely flawless. Went off. He carried this team all the way to that dub when they needed him. And it was just growth everywhere. Like, we haven't seen this in years. Typically, the past couple of games, like, I started to get that feeling like, oh, here's another close game, going to come down to field goal or something, which is why Sean went for the 2 points, because he knew, like, screw this, we're not letting it come down to the field goal. They got to score a touchdown. And they finally got over that hump and beat a team in a close game instead of dropping it in some to a field goal. So much good momentum to take away from this game. Bo Nix shined when he needed to. The defense shined when they needed to. It felt like everything finally is starting to come together. Evan Ingram had a touchdown. He started to come to life. He had a solid day. I wouldn't say like a super, super great day, but he was very clutch when we needed him. And then, of course, Bo to court, that usual connection. Aside from the drops that he will have in the middle of games when no one notices, but whatever, he shows up when he needs to as well. So overall, just a great day, great dub. And now they got to take this momentum and go on a win streak, because they have a pretty easy schedule coming up ahead of them with the Jets, Giants, then Cowboys, and then I think it's the Texans as well. Texans, not saying that they're a cakewalk, but you know what I mean. They got to take advantage of that now and go up while they can, while the Chargers are spiraling right now.
Yeah, certainly a schedule you got to take advantage of, given maybe what's happened over the last couple of weeks. You get this momentum win. Now take that momentum and beat the teams that you're supposed to, and really get the momentum for the remainder of 2025.
And I'll admit that missed pass interference, that I would say that was kind of pass interference. The argument to make is that they're both hand fighting, and then our DB did turn to play the ball. But Eagles fans don't want to talk about how right before that, there's a pass interference on a 4th down call that got them that much closer. That was not pass interference whatsoever. So they got gifted a call, and then the rest are like, well, shit, we just gifted you one. We're not going to gift you another one. And then they start complaining. So whatever, because they just want it at the 4-yard line. It's like, whatever, guys. They got gifted a ton of calls. We got gifted some calls as well. And so it's nice to feel like the Chiefs for a day. So
it's always those undefeated teams. When it's the first team to bring them down, there's always excuses.
They're so funny. They're like, oh my gosh, the refs gave this to the Broncos. The refs hate Sean Payton. Like, they did not gift it to him. If you think the refs are on Sean Payton's side, you're batshit crazy.
It's all right, man. Like I said before the show started, literally the Patriots defeat the undefeated Bills. What happens? The exact same thing that you're talking about, Ryan. So it's just coping. It's just coping at the end of the day. Got to have
blame your players. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, but people never want to look at themselves, man. That's just life. Let's go on to you, Marcus. Marcus, what were your thoughts about this big win for Denver?
Yeah, I mean, I predicted Denver was going to win this game. I feel like the Eagles were playing with house money the last 5 weeks, just barely winning these games, having -1 yards in halves against teams and narrowly winning. And I feel like at some point it was going to happen, but it was a struggle. Just looking at I remember at one point I was like, okay, like, have the Broncos done anything outside the field goal they had? And I remember looking at the play-by-play. So punt, field goal, punt, 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 and then the fourth quarter they had a touchdown, field goal. But I mean, Jesus, 7 punts, 6 consecutive possessions of punts. I mean, yeah, Bo Nix virtually did nothing until that fourth quarter in that game. So it was nice to come alive and and do something in that game. But yeah, J.K. Dobbins, as a Chiefs fan, and I look at our run game, and it's coming together a little bit. But the J.K. Dobbins signing might be the signing of the year. I talked about Keenan Allen might be one of the signings of the year. I think Dobbins up there with that. Javonte Williams, Dobbins, and Keenan Allen, probably the 3 most underrated and undervalued signings of the offseason this past year. And those guys got paid nothing, essentially. But, yeah, I mean, like, this is the defense that we thought we were going to see from the Broncos. League leading sacks right now. I think the next closest team is like 5 sacks on them for the season. So, I mean, yeah, Broncos are doing what we thought they were going to do defensively in this game. Offensively, still kind of, we'll see. A lot to be seen, remains to be seen with that. And also Evan Ingram. I heard a lot about Evan Ingram coming to Denver, and finally, welcome to the 2025 season, I'll say. But yeah, it hadn't done much. Ingram has done actually like so little with Denver so far. When he scored that touchdown, I was like, Ingram? Who the hell is that? Bobby Ingram? Why? He's still in the league? And I was like, oh shit, Evan Ingram. I totally forgot that he was he was on that team. So like, yeah, starting to see him be utilized a little bit more. So maybe, maybe Denver, their offense, once their offense gets going, if it does get going this year, that's gonna be a scary team because they have a phenomenal defense and a phenomenal pass rush. So. And also secretly, and I guess this is more how I feel about the Eagles now. I was actually rooting for the Broncos in that game just because I want the Eagles to lose and I want that like locker room to be imploded. So honestly, I was rooting for the Broncos. I bet on them and I was rooting for the Broncos in this game just because I wanted to see the Eagles kind of implode a little bit because I think they need that. Their fans need a little calming, especially with the Phillies losing. Also, I wanted the Eagles to lose that game too. So I was rooting for the Broncos this weekend. It was nice to see the Eagles lose.
Hey, man, as somebody who's around the Philly area, I can tell you firsthand that I see them posting on social media every single second about the Phillies, about the Eagles, man. And let me tell you, it has been quite literally dead silent. Like you could hear a leaf fall outside because these Philadelphia fans, they're not talking right now. So Denver Broncos were definitely a part of that.
Yeah, they're pointing fingers at their offensive coordinator right now. And as a 76ers fan, I'm a 76ers fan, but hearing them, the way they talk about the Sixers as Phillies and Eagles, all the success they have, I like says, you know what, like Eagles, you guys are barely winning these games. Don't act like your shit doesn't stink. And I'm glad the Broncos kind of did that to them. So that's where I am right now. As a Chiefs fan, I have more of a rivalry with the Philadelphia Eagles than I do with my own division. That's how I feel right now.
Respect, and that's certainly fair given the history. But Simone, let's go on over to you. What were your thoughts about this game?
Man, yeah, I mean, shout out to the Broncos, man. I mean, I know there was a lot of hype going into the season, and I know Ryan didn't like to hear it, but hey, they did their thing, man. Of course, like Marcus said, they started off real slow offensively, but the defense, just being able to keep them in the game was huge. And hey, shout out to Bo Nix, man, being clutch, man, when it matters most, man. 17 unanswered, or what is it? 18 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, just to come back. And J.K. Dobbins on top of what Marcus said as well, man, looking great as well. I think this is multiple games with over 75 yards. I think every game, right? So he looked good. Of course, there was a lot of questionable calls here and there, but at the end of the day, they came away with the victory. I know Ryan was kind of nervous that Jalen Hurts was going to catch his own pass at the end, but yeah, I mean that it was a big statement win for the Broncos, and this is the type of wins that you would want to have, especially going into the season and with the way the AFC West is right now. Like, I mean, it's all up to them how they want the future to be, but I think definitely a solid win overall for the Broncos. I don't really have anything bad to say about anybody.
Jalen Hurts trying to catch that pass though was crazy.
I mean,
like, what's that guy thinking? Like, does he really think he's gonna go down and catch that? Does he really think he's gonna go down and catch that? But
even AJ Brown fucked up Devontae Smith on that last one.
Agreed, man. Hella agreed.
Self-sabotage, man.
He wanted it himself, dog. But yeah,
sabotage in Philadelphia. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But James, let's go on up to you. Wrap us up with this game. What were your thoughts?
The one thing that I was observing a lot is Bo Nix and his deep throws, and meaning as in 15-yard plus type throws. And he was 1 for 6 in the first half of the game, and he was not hitting those throws at all. And one thing I observed a lot was that in the second half, they switched it up and did not really throw the deep ball as much. They only threw 2 times 15-plus type throws. They did convert one of those. They got 16 yards to Sutton, I believe it was. So he did make a clutch catch, too, at some point. And he did make a nice clutch catch, 3rd and 6 catch with 16 yards, 2:28 left in the game. So bottom line, what I'm saying is that they adjusted in the second half. They stopped going for those deep throws. They end up starting to go with more shorter type throws, get the rhythm type throws, get things rolling. Big thing for the Broncos defense, and I know Marcus kind of alluded to it too. They stopped the Eagles 3 straight times for 3 and outs for those exact times. Like 3 and outs is huge for you when you're trying to find your way back into a game. And that started actually in the 3rd quarter and then the next 2 possessions in the 4th quarter too. During that time, the Broncos basically just changed up everything. They found their in-game adjustments, and they ended up getting 2 touchdowns and a field goal to take the lead at that point. So pretty big adjustments they made in the second half. Big game for the Broncos. I know we talked a little bit about it too. There were some interesting no calls at the end of the game, but either which way, a win is a win, and you'll take it all day. So big win for the Broncos. Shout out to you guys on that one. Big dub.
Yeah, here's what I'll say about like the deep balls is well, one of them was Sutton's drop. I think there was only one that was really like, oh yeah, that was overthrown. But besides that, for the most part, like they're pretty on target and these receivers are dropping it. Last year, Bo didn't really have an issue at all with the deep balls. That's something more of like this year, him not being on the same page as these receivers, or in my opinion, if it's Sutton running down the sideline, he's just too slow. He's just simply too slow because he's been hitting them with Troy Franklin for the most part. And then one of them was to like Trent Sherfield, who he never throws to. Yeah, he's like a 5th stringer. So that's like part of it when I'm just like, dude, well, he's not going to get consistent throwing these balls when it's it's like all these different guys. I don't know. Maybe that's just a little bit of cope, but like I feel like at least earlier in your career as a quarterback, you want to be consistent with who's out there. So, you know, like their stride, the type of stride that they have. And you're not throwing to like a 5th stringer. But yeah, it's something I'm not worried about. And they've gotten better. But yeah, they definitely did start doing more of the quick underneath stuff that Sean Payton typically does. And yeah, when the game gets close, or when like they really are desperate, they need those yards, Bo just locks in and he just starts going to work. And he's not thinking about, you know, I don't want to put the ball at risk or anything. He just starts ripping it. So that's nice to see.
Yeah,
death by 1,000 cuts, right? I mean, I feel like that's exactly what the Patrick Mahomes mentality is out there too. Just keep hacking away.
Definitely. Well, guys, let's get into some of these super chats before we continue on. We get on into Marcus. We got Matthew coming in with a $2 donation and says, give me O-line help, please. Protect my quarterback. Certainly looked like one of the best O-lines to start the season because of injuries, unfortunately, starting to dwindle down. Big shout out to our boy Matthew. We got Excel Raider coming in here with a $5 donation. It says, Peyton is the best offensive play caller of all time. And I'm a Raiders fan saying this, but it's just the truth. Man, getting some respect here in the division. You like that? Did you agree with that, Samoan? Do you think that Payne's the best offensive play caller of all time?
Oh, I don't know about that, but
I don't even know about that.
He's one of the loyal guys in my chat too. So
yeah, that's our guy. He was here
like,
last week.
All credit to like Andy Reid, man. Like he's won 3 Super Bowls, and he's been a very creative play caller. So I mean, Sean's still got some things to accomplish before he can take that.
Certainly. Well, let's go ahead and let's get into the next game. And Marcus, what a game that this was, man. Let me tell you, I'll be honest. I was at the gym last night, all right? It's kind of packed for what it was. You know, it's like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm freaking out watching the ending of this game. I got everybody looking at me like, what's this guy on? Like, taking something he's not supposed to. Break us down what happened in this game. You kind of alluded to it earlier. Chris Jones kind of giving up on that final play. Some magic, some miracle there for the Jacksonville Jags, who have looked like a pretty good team. They ultimately end up beating you 31-28.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just a football fan, like outside of like being a Chiefs fan, obviously I was pissed off about the game, but it was an exciting Monday night game. There's been some really trash primetime games, but this was a pretty exciting Monday night game. Actually, back to back, the Sunday night game and the Monday night game were pretty good. So. You know, up 14-0, feeling good. The offense is looking back, throwing bombs to Tyquan Thornton, everybody getting involved. And honestly, like, that was one of the silver linings of the game is that, like, there was a question there. Like, did our offense, was it just a mirage against Baltimore's awful defense? Or is this offense actually back? Do we actually have the deep ball back again? Are we actually, going downfield? And we saw that. And Jags have a good defense. I mean, all the numbers would indicate that. Top 5 scoring defense, number 1 in takeaways. And we moved the ball pretty willingly. Almost had 500 yards against them last night. So, and our run game even looked good last night. We don't run the ball enough, but our run game looked good against them. So, love that. But then, you start to see cracks in it. We couldn't stop Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence looked like Michael Vick last night. I mean, we stopped Lamar Jackson the week before, but Trevor Lawrence somehow, he looks like Michael Vick. Makes no sense. Couldn't get any pressure. I mean, this thing I've been harping on since preseason. Couldn't get any pressure without sending the blitz. And without sending the blitz, we're not getting anything with Karlaftis, Jones, Omenahu, Jerry Tillery. I mean, it's just a bunch of Jags. Next to Chris Jones, just a bunch of guys, man. I mean, Tillery, Derek Nottie sucks. It's pretty rough as far as next to Chris Jones. We didn't have Omar Norman Lott last night. That actually hurt big time. But then, so 14, we drive all the way down the field. I mean, we had a drive last night, 97 yards in 2 minutes. We stopped them we stopped the Jags at 1 yard line. They went for a QB sneak. We stripped them. Then we drove 97 yards in 2 minutes. But yeah, 14-14 going down there in their territory, 5 yard line. We run the ball on 1st and goal, but instead of running it with arguably one of the best short yardage backs in the league with Kareem Hunt, just continue to hammer it with number 29. We throw a ball, and that's Andy Reese, Tennessee, he likes throwing it. And Devin Lloyd takes it to the house, freaking house call. Mahomes' second interception, both at the 5 yard line and throwing into the goal, throwing into the end zone this year. And that was pretty bad. That was a 14-point swing, man. The fact that we still got in, to take the lead with under 2 minutes left in that game, it showed our offense wasn't the problem. Yeah, that was an element of why we lost that game last night. But we scored that. So we scored, take the lead with less than 2 minutes left. Harrison Butker kicks the ball out of bounds. They get the ball at the 40. 3rd and 7. Lawrence throws a bomb to, I believe, Brian Thomas Jr. on the sideline. Beautiful ball. And then DPI in the end zone. And then we get down to this part of the Chris Jones aspect of it. Chris Jones, just kind of, I mean, it's not his fault, right? I mean, yeah, there's other reasons why we lost that game. That's just another element of it. And if you look at the optics of it, just him just standing there watching it. Trevor Lawrence, they have no timeouts left. Trevor Lawrence coming out of the Colin Hike, falls, tries to get up, falls again. No one's there to touch him. Lawrence even said he would have thrown the ball away, but when he got up the second time, he saw that no one was around him. He just ran to the end zone, and that was there. I mean, like a freaking giraffe going into the end zone. Just unreal. So, and then we get the ball back with 20 seconds left, 3 timeouts. Mahomes actually a great throw to Hollywood Brown, didn't get his head around. Hollywood Brown catches that, maybe, getting to midfield and maybe another play or two just to get in field goal range. But I honestly am not even sold that Butker would even made a deep field goal kick because it's not, for some reason he's off right now. Don't know what it is. But there are some numbers I want to throw at you. So just to, we should have won that game, and you can make the arguments that we should be 4-1 right now. I would say the only game we should have lost is the Chargers game. Every other game, you can make the argument that we should be 4-1, but whatever. But go to these numbers, these nuts. So the Chiefs were going into last night. The Chiefs were 28-0 in Mahomes starts when they gained 375 yards or more and allowed fewer than 350 yards. The margin last night was 476 to 319. So 28-1 now when that happens. The Chiefs averaged 7.6 yards per play before last night. Before last night's game, a team that averaged 7.5 yards a play or more had won 33 straight games. So we are now we broke that streak. So 13 penalties in the game last night. That was, obviously that was the huge part of it. And everyone says, no, the Chiefs are, the refs are in their pockets. We had 13 penalties last night. 4 were for the special teams alone. Jacksonville had 4 for the game. So our special teams had as much as the Jacksonville team did in total. But just to talk about the undisciplined action of the Chiefs, this year we have, through the first 5 games of the season, we have 42 penalties. Last year, through the first 5 games, we had 27 penalties. So 55% increase from year to year on that. So not good, but again, I do love what I saw from the offense. And this is we have one more game without Rashee Rice, and the offense is looking as good as it does without him. I'm excited for the fact that we're going to have an explosive offense again, but there are things, right? You see the penalties, and that's just not a disciplined ball team. You only see that from shitty teams, and I don't think we're a shitty team. But when you see 13 penalties and you see 42 in the first 5 weeks, you're like, what's going on here? Is it coaching? Is just guys not locked in? I don't know, but there is some to love here, and I did love what we saw from the running game. And again, offensive line was a big question going into the season, and it looks like we have our left tackle of the future in Josh Simmons. He's a beast. So love what I saw from the offensive line, love what I've seen from the offense, but just going from containing the number one offense in the league with Ravens last week to allowing Trevor Lawrence to run all over the field like Randall Cunningham last night, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, certainly a lot of frustration for Chiefs fans. Simone, let's go on over to you. What was your outside perspective when watching last night's game?
Yeah, I didn't really watch the whole game, but I actually caught the tail end of it. I was at a restaurant and they were playing the game, and I definitely had my eyes on glued to the screen to see what would happen at the end. Of course, crazy ending. Trevor Lawrence doing this thing to drive down the field. And yeah, that play I was going to bring up was crazy in itself. The fact that he even got into the end zone. I mean, it was a huge win for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know that the Chiefs are 2-3, but I felt like, just like Marcus said, a lot of the penalties basically shot themselves in the foot with that. And like, I know that you like stats, Marcus. So I seen a stat. The Chiefs this year is 0-3 in one-score games, right? And then last year, you guys are about 11-0. So it's crazy how much a year can change. Now, of course, this is still beginning of the season, but I feel like I would say from the outside perspective, I still wouldn't even worry about what's going on. I just think that you guys just haven't been lucky to come out of those one-score games like you guys usually do. But overall, I think big win for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, I'm over here complaining about my coach, one-year coach, give him some time, but then you got Cohen over there, 4-1 right now, beating two big teams in back-to-back weeks. So, yeah, basically, I just wish that we were 4-1 right now, but it is what it is.
Right, man. It's all right. You know what? In your heart, you are 4-1, and that's all that matters. In your heart, you're 4-1, man. Not in reality, but maybe in your heart.
And Madden, I'm undefeated, dog. So,
James, let's go on up to you. What were your thoughts on this game?
To jump on Samoan Raiders topic about Liam Cohen, I call him Mr. Duval because he sounded like a goober when he got introduced as the head coach there. Now, I thought they were dead in the water after that hiring. I was like, oh my gosh, terrible hiring. And now I look like the goober because they are 4-1. And they had a huge statement win against the Chiefs last night. How that game ended with Trevor Lawrence getting stepped on, laying on the ground, seemed like he was on the ground forever, getting back up, running in for a touchdown. You even saw the security in the background cheering, having a great time with the game. I thought you were supposed to pay attention to the security in the stadium. It was really wild to see what was happening there. But one other stat, and I'm a big fan of stats. I think we've all been pretty big fans of stats through this podcast here. Chiefs with Mahomes, so having Mahomes as their quarterback, they are 62-4 when leading by 14 points or more. The 4 losses previously were against the 2021 Bengals in the AFC title game, Week 17, 2021 versus the Bengals again. Week 6, 2019 versus the Texans, and then Week 15 versus my Chargers in the 2018 season. Personally, what I'm just trying to say is this is a rare case for the Chiefs to kind of stumble and shoot themselves in the foot. So personally, I don't really have much of a problem. I think for the Chiefs, I think they're going to figure it out. I think maybe the Rashee Rice situation might help them out a little bit too. But man, if these keep stacking, it's going to be harder and harder and harder for the Chiefs. And they do have some tough matchups coming up here soon, too. So we'll see where it goes with the Chiefs.
All right, Ryan, let's go on over to you. Wrap us up with this game. What were your thoughts?
Pissed that I lost money because I put money on the Chiefs and I took the spread -3.5. And I thought, they score the touchdown. I'm like, bet I'm not going to cash out. I'm going to stay here. I was like, there's no way the Jaguars with no timeouts drive all the way down the field. Marcus, your defense may be some of the most atrocious shit I've seen this week. Like, oh my gosh. Penalty, deep pass. What are you guys doing? And then Chris Jones just not giving any effort, like rip him off the field. That was like, your offense is fine. You had Worthy out there and he was doing very well. Your run game was very solid. Mahomes was doing his thing. He brought you guys back. Besides that pick 6 in the end zone, which is whatever. And by the way, that just shows, guys, oh, look, even the greats, they're going to mess up sometimes. Just want to put that out there for all the Broncos fans that love to ridicule Bo Nix and say Jared Stidham should start. Even Mahomes, even these guys do dumb shit, but everyone forgets about that. Everyone just seems to forget about that. Peyton Manning had stupid plays, Tom Brady, all throughout their careers. Stop thinking these guys need to be perfect. Anyways, this is weird. I was rooting for the Chiefs because I wanted that money, and they pissed me off. Mostly that defense. Just sloppy football from the special teams and from the defense. It seemed like every single kickoff there was like holding by the special teams or something. And it was just ridiculous. You guys need to clean up a lot. And after last night, I finally was like, I think, they may not make the playoffs this season unless something drastically changes and they clean it up. But let the Jags beat you guys. I know they're not like as shit as they used to be, but still, with a brand new head coach, how do you lose to a team like that? I know they played tough and everything, but you can't get to Trevor Lawrence. And just especially that touchdown by Trevor Lawrence. How do you not tackle the guy? That's all I have to say on that. They disappointed me, even though all the rest of Broncos country was rooting against them. So, but for the sake, I had money on them, and they finally disappointed me in that aspect.
I mean, two or three, and the way the division's going right now, I'm not like as concerned. If the Chargers continue where they were going, like a couple weeks ago where they were trending, I'd be really scared right now. But the fact that everything's kind of evening out right now, I would say I'm not as scared about missing the playoffs. And there's a lot of like stats out there that say teams that are 2 and 3 don't make I forget the percentages are. The rough percentages. The fact that everything's kind of, we're all kind of even, I would say, within a game of each other, I'm honestly okay with that. But yeah, Brashard Smith had a 60-yard return that was negated from a hold. And then that last kickoff where he had another 40-yard return negated by a hold by the same freaking guy, Jack Cochran. Jack Cochran needs to go. I mean, that's one guy. I'm not a big fan of saying guys need to be cut. I'm not a Cochran guy, especially after last night. Before I was already on the fence with him. He needs to go. 4 penalties from the special teams alone when the Jaguars had 4 just as a team. Our one unit at 4. Unreal.
Yeah, it just seemed like every time there was something that was starting to go your guys' way, then there's another flag. Oh, you got the stop. And then there was like pass interference. I'm like, holy shit.
Like the pick 6 was so bad. I mean, obviously it was bad for many reasons, but let's say, we just kick a field goal there. It's great. Let's say we go 4 and out there. That's still a win compared to what happened. I mean, the fact there's a 14-point swing like that, man, just nuts, man.
Definitely. Well, guys, let's go ahead and let's wrap up this final game. Now, Simone, we're a little crunched on time, so we're just going to take this game to you. Break it down. Let us know what happened and just what direction do the Raiders ultimately head in.
Down.
Yeah. Other weeks I would say something else, but I'll take it because, it was an embarrassing game, man. Like I said, it's the same story for the last 4 weeks, and it starts with the quarterback position, man. Like I know I hyped up Geno Smith because looking at what he did under Pete Carroll, there was some positives there, and he continues to struggle, continues to throw turnovers, and killing drives, man. And when you expect your quarterback to at least do something out there, especially when the running game is actually doing good, Ashton Jeanty for the second game in a row actually looked real solid out there. So I wouldn't really blame him. The offensive line without Colton Miller, they were pretty solid, even with Stone Forsett coming in and subbing in for at left tackle. They did their job, but ultimately, man, when this game was pretty close, in the beginning at least, turnovers just killed us. And I will say, like, that was the only time I could complain about the referees because I felt like, Buckner, DeForest Buckner kind of jumped before the ball was hiked, and I'm like, bro, that's a penalty. But at the end of the day, we continue to shoot ourselves in the foot. But after that, like we couldn't like answer back on anything. I talked about special teams before, man. Block punt in this game, a missed field goal from Daniel Carlson. I mean, I don't know what's going on with their special teams. They used to be the highlight of this team, but it's just been all bad. Now AJ Cole, who's a Pro Bowler, is injured. We signed somebody new today. And even in this game, we let up a 98-yard return. Thank you, Jesus, that it got called back by a flag. But the special teams has been struggling so far. Like in the Commanders game, we gave up 2 huge return touchdowns. So something's got to change there. Our defense was getting exposed out there as well. The unit that I have a little bit more confidence over everything else, Jonathan Taylor does his thing. Now, granted, I think most of that was because of the turnovers that we had, and they were in great field position. But Jonathan Taylor had 3 touchdowns on a day. Indiana Jones damn near looked like Peyton Manning out there. He was chilling in the pocket and just making the right throws. And it's just frustrating to see. And at the end of the game, when it was all over and out, like one thing I know Raider fans were kind of complaining about was Pete Carroll and not even just putting Kenny Pickett in there. And that's how you know it's bad, when we just want to see somebody else out there. And he didn't want to switch it up, because I don't think he wants any kind of quarterback controversy. And if Pickett goes in there and just has a solid little drive, then I think a lot of people would have been talking about that. And now people's even talking about bringing Russell Wilson over here, which it is what it is, right? But I don't think all hope is lost just yet. I think there's like 2% chance. Like I feel a little optimistic. There's a guy that I know that runs social for the Raiders. He actually texted me something I didn't even know about, but he was like, "Hey, we got to have some type of hope, right?" Sean Payton in his first year with the Broncos started 1-5, went on to win 5 games in a row, ended up 8-9. I mean, I'm not saying that will happen, but crazy things have happened in the NFL. So right now, as a Raider fan, it's definitely frustrating, and I understand everybody's frustration, even in the nation. But yeah, it's looking pretty tough this year, and this game alone, just proves that we don't got our shit together, and let alone Jermaine Pratt didn't even make it to the game, and he got released a day after. I don't know what's going on, but I've been hearing a lot of rumblings behind the scenes that there are some players that seem to be frustrated with the coaching staff and whatnot. But we'll see.
Certainly not a good start to a brand new regime, but we'll see how things go as time goes on. Let us know your guys' thoughts about all these Week 5 games in the comment section below. Big shout out to Vince, who comes in here with a $2 donation and then follows it up with a $10 donation. Says, "My Chargers are imploding with this dog water O-line. Broncos, good games. Can't even hate that performance. Chiefs, I don't know how that even happens. LOL. And Raiders, just put the fries in the bag at this point."
I can't say anything.
Best way possible for the entire division. But all right, fellas, let's get into these Week 6 previews and predictions. We got about 10 minutes left. So if you're talking about your team, make it about 2 minutes. If you're previewing another team, let's keep it to about 1, just so we can stay within the proper time frame of the show. But let's go ahead and let's get into the first game. James, an opportunity to get back on track here, okay? You're facing the Miami Dolphins. They don't have Tyreek Hill. They're not a very good team at this point. That team is looking to seriously implode, right? They're pretty much firing their head coach and their general manager by the end of the season. Fans are flying planes above the stadium at every home game saying, "Fire everyone." So, James, what are your thoughts on this game?
When Mike McDaniel was walking through the tunnel back to the locker room without his shades on, man, he just looked like a defeated person, man. And either that or he's steaming. He just didn't know what was happening. I mean, I think they ended up losing this game pretty badly. I think they were actually up quite a bit too in this one, and they found a way to lose that last game. And, the thing is, though, there's the tale of two halves in this one. And what I'm saying by that is that the Dolphins, they want to get rid of everybody at this point. They want to move on from McDaniels. I think he's a very good coach, in my opinion. I think he could be a very good offensive coordinator for somebody, too, if he does get let go. Now, with Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins, I don't know what they're doing. Tyreek Hill's gone. I mean, just the team looks like a mess. They're not finding ways to close games out. On the flip side, the Chargers got a whole lot of mess that they got to clean up, too. We got to figure out this offensive line. We got too many injuries. Who is our running back at this point? I'm glad that Joe Ortiz, our GM, went out there and got Odafe Owe. I can never say the guy's name, but I'd love to be able to see what he could do for this team, because Tuli Tuipulotu on the opposite side is actually top in the league, or one of the top in the league. I think he's top 5 right now in pressures. He had a 4-sack game 2 weeks ago, so he's a guy that just needed help. And Khalil Mack, I feel like we did this trade because Khalil Mack's going to be out for a lot longer than we anticipate. So I don't know what to expect going into this game, because I'm unsure about my own team at this point. It's interesting to think about the tale of two halves. Again, 3-0, I was sky high. Now I'm unsure where we're going to be at. We cannot go 3-3 at this point. We have to win this game against the Dolphins. The hard part of it is a West Coast team going to the East Coast early morning game. As we saw with the Giants game, you find a way to run slow, play slow, and then you end up losing the game. So don't know what to expect from this game, but bottom line, I think penalties need to get cleared up. That is the ultimate goal. Keep it under 5 penalties. Just to even say the Chiefs game last night, the amount of penalties they had, same thing for the Chargers the last 2 weeks. It's been ugly. So they got to find a way to clean up the mistakes at the minimum for this game to get a chance to win this one.
Certainly. Ryan, let's go on over to you. Who do you have winning this game? Do you have the Chargers getting right or the Miami Dolphins with their second win of the season?
I think Chargers will get right. Miami's just they're a shit show. And Mike McDaniel, he's going to be out of there soon. And I was talking with one of my Bears people around here that they are around the organization, to say the least, and they're saying that the word around the league is that Miami's might be selling off some players soon. So if they lost that game this past weekend, and they did, so who knows if some guys are gone this week, such as A-Chain. And yeah, Miami's just done. They're a dumpster fire. They're gonna be selling the whole thing. So great game for the Chargers to get right.
Bring A-Chain to the Chargers, please. Thank you.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
hey man,
not.
y'all should be blowing them out. If it's not a blowout, James, y'all got to be disappointed. This team's rough. Marcus, let's go down to you. What are your thoughts on this game?
Look, man, I mean, both teams have, obviously the Dolphins have a lot more questions, but I mean, the Chargers have a lot of questions as far as the injuries wise. We don't even know who the running back's going to be this week. Is Hassan Haskins going to be a guy? Dolphins is just a trash team. I will say the spread is weird, 4.5 points. I think I saw 3.5 in some books. 85% of the money on the Chargers. I'm going to go with Dolphins this week, upset.
Ooh.
Whoa, Marcus is going with the Dolphins. I thought I misheard that for a second.
I would love to see it.
That's strictly just going off the betting trend. That's strictly going off the betting trend.
Strictly.
Okay, so strictly off the betting trend. Marcus wants to make sure that that's clear. So, all right, how about that one, Simone? Let's go on over to you. Who are you taking in this game?
Yeah, definitely. This is a perfect bounce back game for the Chargers. I mean, they struggled these past 2 weeks, but I think this is going to be a big game to determine whether or not, they're a competitive team this year or they're going to start falling. So, looking at Miami right now, yeah, like everybody said, I mean, they've been competitive in some of the games, but overall just haven't been able to put it together. So I got the Chargers winning this one. They should win this one. But I hope they do lose, but I think they have enough to win this game.
We're going to have some bigger questions for you, James, if we come back next Tuesday and they did not win this game. Man, it's going to be a good one next week. It's going to be a good one next week. Let's go on into this next game. Ryan, your Denver Broncos, coming off of a massive win against the former undefeated Philadelphia Eagles, are taking on the New York Jets, who have not won a single game, and they're the only team in the NFL who defensively has not forced a turnover. What are you projecting to happen in this game?
As for the wins, it's going to stay that way, in my opinion. Jets are just so bad right now, so bad. And hopefully this is not a trap game for us. I think this team is mentally tough enough where they're not overlooking the Jets whatsoever. They still understand that, the NFL is week to week business and any team can win. It's not like this is a college team. And I'm interested what insight their DM, I think Darren Mogi is his name, because he what insight he has on the Broncos, because he was our assistant GM and then the Jets just took him. So that'll be interesting. I mean, obviously he's not the coach or anything, so who knows? Probably doesn't mean much anyways. But Broncos now, they need to prove, or they need to continue to prove that they are the team that we all think that they are, and put these guys away, and that they should be beating, as they have. They've done it last year. They need to continue to do that. It is in London, so it's a morning game. So that'll be interesting. So hopefully my entire day doesn't get ruined with that, like it has before in the past when they've played in London. And I expect everyone to be firing on all cylinders. And now is the time for the offense to start, upticking and getting some consistency going, especially against a team like the Jets. Like, if you can't have a consistent offense against the Jets, like what you're not gonna, there's not gonna be too much hope for you later in the season. So yeah, taking the Broncos.
taking the Broncos to beat the Jets. Marcus, are you also going to take the Broncos, or do you want to take an upset?
The money is all on Denver, but the fact that being in England is it's a London game.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that changes things, but after what I saw from the Jets last week, I mean, they beasted me as far as when I bet on them against the Cowboys last week. It was a 1-point spread. They couldn't do anything against Dallas's atrocious secondary. It wasn't until like the fourth quarter where it was garbage time where they did something. Denver's defense is a different beast, and Denver's offense should go off on this horrible Jets defense. So if the Broncos offense does not go off against this Jets defense, then we have more questions about your offense in this one. But Broncos should win this game, and they should 7.5 points. I mean, they should in theory cover that by multiple possessions. I'll go Broncos in this one.
They should certainly blow the Jets.
One thing I forgot to note is that our left guard Ben Powers is out for 2 months now with a biceps injury, so he didn't make the trip. So he's it's significant in terms of offensive line continuity, but regarding like actual physical play, it's not that big of a deal. Like he was already starting to like trend down a little bit. He was good for polling, but I think our 6 offensive linemen should be able to fill in pretty well.
Certainly something to keep in mind when talking about this game. Simone, let's go on over to you. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, I think this is definitely one of those hammy games. Like for the Broncos, like these are the games you got to win and have to win and should win, especially if you want to keep that momentum going forward. The Jets, of course, like we said, haven't won any games, and I think no matter how slow or fast the offense plays, just the defense alone is going to keep them in that game. But this should be an easy W for the Broncos, and I mean, they could take sole possession of number 1 after this week. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it could be a trap game any given Sunday. But I think the Broncos just have too much over the Jets this week.
Agreed. And, James, what's going up to you? Wrap us up with this game. What do you think?
I was thinking a lot about the whole London game. I think the Broncos are 0-2 at London for career-wise. And that's not a whole lot of games. And all.
We beat the Jags a couple of years ago.
Oh, Jags. Okay. Yeah, multiple games there. Wembley, I believe it was. But either which way, I'm feeling like this could potentially be a trap game. And why I'm saying is I could come off a big high after beating the Eagles. You feel good about it. You get on the plane, all that kind of stuff. And then something just kind of makes me feel like something's going to happen in this game where it's going to favor the Jets. Aaron Glenn has got to find a way to win a freaking game or he's going to get fired after 1 year. And this would be a good game for him to make a statement for himself to say, we could finally find a way to make it happen. I don't think it's truly Justin Fields' issue. I think that just in general, maybe it's just the defense is really not gelling the way they think. Maybe they got too many prima donnas on the team too. I'm not sure here, but personally, I think this could be a trap game. I'm crazy maybe to say that, but I think the Jets are going to find some way to basically win this one.
Wow. All right. How about that? We got James taking the upset in this one for the Jets to get their first win. And boy, oh boy, would that be a storyline for the entire NFL for week 6. So we'll ultimately just have to see how that one shapes up next Tuesday. But getting into this next game, Marcus, another pretty tough one here for you guys because you guys are taking on the 4-1 Detroit Lions as the Kansas City Chiefs fall under 500 at 2-3. Can you guys get right, or is this another L?
Primetime game, Mahomes 14-2 on Sunday Night Football, 14-2 in his career. Just beat the Giants a couple nights ago, or a couple weeks ago. So 14-2 now on Sunday night. Lions are going to be down 3 of their top 4 cornerbacks in this game, and it's a great time when the offense is starting to come together for that to happen. They do have a really good pass rush, but like I said, our offensive line is looking really good. I think they're number 2 as far as sacks wise in the league. The Lions are behind the Broncos. I do think it's a bounce back spot for us. A lot of people are selling on us. The interesting thing is looking at the money movement as far as betting wise. Chiefs were a 1.5 point favorite before the game last night. And the betting public's 80% of the money is on Detroit. But even though there's 80% of the money is on Detroit, the line has gone from 1.5 to a 2.5 Chiefs. So the sharps are liking the Chiefs this weekend. I'm liking the Chiefs this weekend. I think the Chiefs win this game. I think it's a statement game for us. 80% of the betting public is on Detroit this weekend. So I have to say with that and us being a favorite in this game, it's kind of fishy since, Detroit looks like one of the best in the league right now. But I do think our passing game is going to look unreal against this depleted Detroit secondary on Sunday night in a big statement game on primetime.
Marcus has his Chiefs getting right against the Detroit Lions. Samoan, do you also think that this is an opportunity for the Chiefs to get right?
Yeah, most definitely. I think this is going to be a big matchup. And of course, the Lions, even with the injuries that they have, are still going to be a competitive team in this game. But seeing what the Chiefs did last week, I mean, it comes down to whether or not, they shoot themselves in the foot. That's what it comes down to. And as long as, Patrick Mahomes plays a clean game and doesn't throw those turnovers within red zone, they'll be okay. And they're going to be in Arrowhead this weekend. So I actually got the Chiefs winning this one and just bouncing back after last week's or yesterday's close loss.
All right, we got 2 Chiefs. James, you going to make it 3?
I think yes. Now, the big thing about this is that the Lions have only lost to the Packers. The teams that they have beat are the Bears, just mollywopped them 52-21. And then they beat the Ravens. We know where they're at right now. The Browns, they got smoked too, 34-10. And then they beat the Bengals 37-24. Now, this is going to be that big game for the Lions. Who are they going to really be? Now, to Marcus' point, when some of the cornerbacks are out for the Lions, could get a little bit more tougher for them. So, unfortunately, yes, I'm going to choose the Chiefs to win this one.
All right. So far we got 3 out of 3 Chiefs. I don't know, Ryan. I feel like you're going to pick the upset here. Are you going to make this 4 out of 4, though?
I'm picking the Lions. You know, they've just looked so good. And after seeing Kansas City's defense last night, let Trevor Lawrence pick them apart, especially at the end. I think the Lions are just going to take this one, but by quite a bit. I don't think it's going to be necessarily that close. Just because I have no faith in that Chiefs defense. I think maybe it could be a shootout because both defenses are, struggling a bit, which would make for a great game. But ultimately, I think the firepower that the Lions have in terms of like their run game and the pass game, just everything about their offense, I'm going to take the Lions.
All right, so we got 3 out of 4 panelists here taking the Kansas City Chiefs, but we got Ryan taking the Detroit Lions. Let us know your guys' thoughts about this game in the comment section below. But fellas, let's go ahead and let's get into the final game here for Week 6. We got one interesting matchup. We got the battle of the basement here. The Raiders, the Titans, both have won one game, but one of these teams will advance to 2 wins on the season. Simone, what do you think about this?
Yeah, of course. You guys know how frustrated I am with this team. I mean, they've been struggling, and we lost 4 straight games in a row. Bad quarterback play, but it's all going to come down to what Geno Smith can do, and especially at home. I mean, the 2 home games that we played, it's been a shit show. 3 interceptions in both games each. So it's been all bad. But, the Titans are coming off of a win. I know they got one taste of getting a W, but just me being – a little bit selfish because I'm going to be at the game this week, and I just want to see a damn Raiders win. I got my Raiders winning this game. I don't care how or whatnot. But, yeah, I just hope that we come out with the win and we have a strong performance in front of our home crowd for once this season. So, yeah, I'm actually just hoping and praying at this point.
Just keep praying, buddy. Just keep praying. I got your back there.
You never know, man. You never know.
You never know. Any given Sunday. James, let's go on up to you. Are you also going to take the Raiders?
I don't even know who to choose in this game. I mean, goodness. I mean, this one's a very tough game to kind of figure out. Both teams. I'll say this, though. The Titans against the Cardinals last week, they dodged a little bit of a bullet when there was the fumble to the end zone by the Cardinals that could have pretty much iced that game. Titans found a way to tighten up their bootstraps and go out there and get this dub. And I don't know if that's what was needed for Cam Ward to kind of get over the hill and start really understanding this team. I think he's been calling out his players a little bit too. And there's something about this game that I don't know what direction to take on this. I almost wanted to say, can we just end as a tie kind of thing? Because we're kind of dealing with 2 similar teams at this point. I don't know what to choose, but me being a Chargers fan, I'm going to choose the Titans for sure. I'm going to say the Titans are going to win this one, and it's going to be an extremely close game. Bottom line, is Geno Smith going to finish this game is my whole hot take out there. If he starts throwing picks again, he needs to ride that bench. I'm just going to say that. He needs to get off the field quick, ASAP. So I'm choosing the Titans on this one.
We got James choosing the Titans, so that's 1 Raiders, 1 Titans. Ryan, who are you picking?
Sell your ticket, Samoan. Don't go. I'm picking the Titans. Dude, the Raiders are just so bad. And I remember, and the Titans, like they're bad, but Cam Ward is solid. He's pretty solid for the most part, for a young QB, that is. And they're able to get a win. I forgot who they even beat, but I think this is another great opportunity for the Titans to get another win against a team that is kind of spiraling down. The Titans have nothing to lose right now. Young QB, pretty young head coach as well. Whereas the Raiders, they had these high expectations and everything feels like it's on fire again. So picking the Titans.
Picking the Titans. Marcus, who are you picking?
Give me the Raiders. Kind of what James said. I mean, the Cardinals blew that game. DeMarcado fumbles the ball right before he gets to the end zone, and then they throw. What was it? They threw a pick, or it was a pick. Cardinals fumble the pick. Ball rolls into the end zone, and the Titans land on the ball, and that's how they won the game. So, the most ridiculous way of winning that game. They were getting dominated throughout the entire game. So without those two plays, the Cardinals win that game by pretty healthy amount. So the fact that they're coming off that win and the Raiders have looked as bad as they have looked, and they're a 4.5 point favorite. I think the Raiders win this one. I think Titans are also just a trash team, and also with their coaching situation, a lot of people are saying that Callahan's on the hot seat. So they have that going on as well. So I think the Raiders win. I think they rally behind Carroll and win this one.
Well, let us know your guys' thoughts on this game and the rest of the games in the comment section below. One more thing I want to let you guys know about before we log off is our good friends over at Swivel, man. What Swivel is this is a Chrome extension. So you add it to your Chrome extension, and basically what it does is every time you go to Google, every time you go to look up something on your browser, below it, this is exactly what you're going to see. And you are going to see all the content here from Round Table Sports. So whether it is Fourth and Forever, whether it is the Instagram, the Twitter, all of the news that Roundtable Sports posts league-wide, whether it's here for the AFC West Roundtable, all content that we produce, you can find it on your Chrome extension. So make sure you guys go ahead and check out Swivel to make sure you get your healthy dose of the Roundtable Sports content. But that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Let us know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. But until next time, we appreciate you for watching, and we will see you guys live next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern to break down everything that happened in Week 6. But as always, we appreciate you guys for watching.
Roundtable Sports Network is your one-stop shop for all things NFL, with daily live shows covering all 8 divisions in the league, hosted by the best content creators on the web, all on one network. Catch the AFC East live every Monday at 7 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. The AFC North Roundtable live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. The AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. The NFC East Roundtable live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. The NFC West Roundtable live at 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. The NFC North Roundtable is at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, and the NFC South Roundtable is live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST. And of course, Fourth and Forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network, covering all things NFL at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel. Real coverage, real fans.